Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning on a Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. Let's take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. Today should be one of those days. High of 76, 78, low of all the way down to 57 tonight. Water temperature at the end of the pier, same as yesterday at 74 degrees. Let's take a look at our river readings brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. Good folks over there. I know a lot of them, just a bunch of good folks over there. We're looking at the Apalachicola Bluntstown. We mentioned this yesterday. It's sort of just relaxed. It's just staying smooth. It's at an 8.6. Not much movement yesterday or today or looks like tomorrow. Pretty level there. Take a look at the Choctaw at Caryville. Continually slow, steady drop. This morning reading right at 7.1. And looks like it's going to be in good shape for the weekend. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We have a high tide this morning at 9:18. And it's dropping out really fast now. It's going to drop out to about 5:47 after lunch. You notice that tide is dropping out now. Next couple of days, we're going to be really good, strong tides. We're getting over these neap tides, and we've got a full moon coming up tomorrow night. Okay? Take a look at our wind direction. Guess what? Double digits. It came out of west yesterday. It's going to switch over to the northwest. Not much movement, and it's going to die down a little bit. It's going to go from 15 yesterday down to today's going to be 13. In other words, about the same with today. Coming out of northwest at 13. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We talk a lot about the weather. We do it every day, but it's so important. I do want to mention, we talked about the wind, and Ken Paramore and I talked about it yesterday, how he hasn't been able to take his boat out. A lot of folks are like that, really not being able to do things they would normally do in the springtime. It's been an unusual spring because of the wind. And now also, the month of May is a little unusual because the full moon, like I say, the first week of May, but really the last week or so of May is going to be the brim bed. I talked about brim bedding last week in May. So there'll be some bedding now, but it really won't be prevalent as we'd like to see it, and we will see it at the next full moon, which may go into April. I don't have it right here and all, but the mayfly hatch, I got tickled all day thinking about them. When they hatch out, they're going to go, instead of dropping down like they normally do, they're just going to be blown sideways by the wind. So you may not be able to get up under a tree for the mayfly hatch. You may have to get off to the side. So it's just the weather, the springtime, you know, there's so many rituals we have in the springtime, the freshwater fishing, the surf fishing, fall into different runs and different things. A lot of folks camping every spring. And for the younger kids, and we were there once, the prom is always in late spring toward the end of school, and a lot of proms go on. And since the advent of media, we just been have a plethora of prom pictures that parents put on of the kids coming into different houses and groups of people to prom. And I love looking at the prom pictures of former students, kids, and just I get a bunch of them, and the kids are just beautiful. But I saw one, I cracked up that one I saw for this past weekend, and I showed it to Gail, and she said, "We got to show this because you try to do some special events for the prom." Okay, and so here's one. This is not locally. This is down here. This is in Florida. This is in Dixie County, not too far, right next to Taylor County. When it's prom, but fishing is life. Okay, this is Landon and Bridget. This is their prom pictures. I've never seen this. Do you not love this with prom pictures? Is that not cool? They're fishing by the bridge down there. That looks like the Swanee River. They're real close to the Swanee River. Now that's true love, and that marriage is going to last a long time, a lifetime, because they have such a good, that for her to go along with that, and for them to do that, I know that's special right there. Prom pictures of bass fishing. Later on, they went to the prom. So I don't know that couple, but I have a lot of respect for them for doing that. Choctaw River. We're talking about fishing over there. We were talking last week. This is at the Dead River. This is David Burke at the Dead River got a pike there, got some bass, and we got a good mess of fish right there. Okay, this is Scoop Jackson. Congratulations on show 4500. I watch every morning. Thank you for what you do. But what I want to talk about is this. The one on my shirt, he had a special made shirt. Now this is a good idea. The one on my shirt I had made was 43 inches. He won third place in the running of the bulls. So for me, a shirt made. Can do it at Walmart. the one in my hand is 21 inches, good eating size. But you know what? That's not a bad idea to get a picture made with a fish you catch and put it on the shirt. And that may, especially for your kid, that'd be a good little present for them. Thanks, Scoop, for sharing that with us. Kyle Rutherford, we're talking about the inshore slam, and he got it other night, late afternoon. He got it. There you go. Actually got a Spanish up top, two Spanish. Let's see, a speckled trout, and flounder, and a redfish. Good job, Kyle Rutherford. This was funny to me. My wife asked me, what would the female version of a man cave be? I told her, it's called a kitchen. Can anyone put me up for a few nights? You don't say that anymore, guys. We don't say that. Okay. Don't forget, coming up in a couple of weeks now, they do this every year, around Memorial Day, the fishing tournament, the brim fishing tournament, and fish fry. So you don't have to fish the tournament. You can go down there and get some good fish to eat, fresh fish. They're cooking right there on the spot. The Shad-Eye director staff, they do a lot of good things for young people. At the Howard Creek Upper Landing. It's be Saturday, May 27th. To enter, $50 a boat. Start fishing at 7 a.m. The weigh-in's at 3. And fish plates with all the fixings. I miss a lot of food. And they'll be serving now from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, so Leon, Bill, Chuck, called into those guys right there. I know all those guys, and they'll get you fixed up for that tournament. Okay, let me see. I've got one more. This is a good one to end on right here. I'm talking about the fishing with the old buddies and all. This is from Captain Matt Smith, who's been on the show a lot, especially in the early years. Rick and Dave, friends for 58 years and still enjoying fishing in their late 70s. Sure hope I can do the same, Captain Matt Smith. They've been fishing together that many years and still in the late 70s are going out there and fishing. So y'all give Matt or Justin, some of those guys, a call. A bunch of good guides out there, especially now when they can figure out the wind direction. And their boats are big enough where it's comfortable. All right, thank you, Matt, for doing that and for sharing that with us. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, don't let Mother's Day sneak up on you. It's about, a week and a half away, May 14th. So we'll be doing our famous top things, outdoor things to get for your mom, or your wife who's a mom, or whoever's in your family. So don't forget that's coming up. In fact, tomorrow's show, I'll have a couple moms on the show with me, and I'll ask them what are some things they would like for Mother's Day. So don't forget that. An announcement here, it's sort of sad announcement I have to make. It's because of, it's been here so long. Take a look at this. The Econfina Creek Canoe Livery. It's been there a couple of generations. The Gay family run it up there, renting out canoes and kayaks. But folks, unfortunately, the owners have decided to retire. We will not be open for the 2023 season. So that's a legendary what they've done. They've had family land up there. It's been an ideal situation. They've brought so much happiness and joy to so many families, and I think Brad Stevens mentioned it. He remembered in high school going. I think they might have skipped sometimes and gone up there. I guess he still has those memories and all of skipping those days at school and going up there canoeing down the Econfina, having a good time. And now he's taken his kids over the years through there, and there's so many other families here in the Florida Panhandle have done that. And we wish the Gay family, David, y'all a happy retirement. And I know they're a hard-working family. It's not an easy job doing what they did day in and day out. So my admiration to them, and best of luck on your retirement. Okay. Now the Swivel Sisters. Let's go from speaking of Mother's Day and all. The Swivel Sisters They're all right here. They've been on the show. Kendra McDaniel, the president, Swivel Sisters Women's Fishing Club, so you know about them. Well, this Saturday is the Bayou Bash, May 5th. The captain's meeting and all will be this Friday night, and they'll fish Saturday, and the weigh-in will start, and there'll be all kind of food and raffles and all kind of things. We've talked about it before. I just want to remind you, it's going to sneak up on you, and it's going to be this weekend. Here are the rules to it. Basically, I want to read them all to you. It's a payout for redfish, trout, flounder, and then a slam, if you get a slam. We were going to be there, okay? We're going to be there Saturday afternoon filming the weigh-in. Now, it kicks off Friday night. It's going to be all at Salinas Park, right there on the Cape, just you turn off the road to the Cape. You can buy food there. The kickoff is Friday night. There'll be it's a festival kind of environment. Everybody's just having such a good time there. And May 5th, it's open to the public, okay? So looking back over it, remember this money goes to a scholarship program there. So congratulations to those ladies. I'm very proud of y'all for doing it. We look forward to coming down there, be some good food, and I buy some raffle tickets and all kind of games and all. And we always get the best interviews from this Bayou Bash, and it's something that's been going on a long time. The Swivel Sisters have had it for about 5 years now, so something to look forward to this weekend. Hope to see some of you all there in your Panhandle Outdoor shirt or caps, okay? All right, now, the next thing, we'll talk about the storm we had. You know, the tornadoes, our hearts go out to our friends and family up there in Hosford being hit by tornadoes, and it was just some devastating damage up there. If you saw the pictures and talked to folks from up there, talked to Amanda Whitehead, and it looked like a tornado just bounced about 3 times, and actually, ironically, hit there around Chester Street, there in Hosford, in downtown Hosford. So, everybody, fortunately, we didn't have any serious injuries or lose anyone, but it just does so much damage, and again, so many people came in to help, you can imagine. So it did a lot of damage, that storm did a couple of days ago over the weekend. And one of the things that the hail, we're talking about tornadoes, but the hail was very strong in pockets. It hit the Lynn Haven area real hard. I got someone told me real quick to check on Bill Allen. Bill was driving home to North Shore in his truck, and somebody said he got his windshield shattered. I said, what? I called him up. He said he was coming, he said one hail, the very first piece of hail, this is interesting now, the very first piece of hail was that golf ball size, like a lot of people saw. He said it came in and hit his windshield, and boom, as you know, like that. And by the time he got home, it was shattered, and the other hail would come. He said the other hail was smaller, but that one piece came in, and then he said right after that one piece, by itself, after that one piece hit, boom, there it was. Well, Sarah Kirkland, her car, her house got damaged. So many of y'all, Stan's daughter, Sarah Kirkland, Marla, and I got so many pictures and all. At my house, which everybody's talking about, the weather guys did great. Everybody's talking about, you know, Lynn Haven hail and all that. Well, Southport right next to Lynn Haven, it came right across the bridge. I mean, it was hitting Southport at the same time. All my neighbors got damaged. We were on the way home, we were not quite home at the time too. We were headed back as quick as we could, so we missed the hail, but just as soon as I got home, I could see the damage. I'm gonna show you this picture here. I started, my little work area started flooding, and I went on the side of my house. I have a shed, like somebody, a lean-to shed, whatever that I built. But I have my kayaks on one end, and the other end my workshop. And this is, you know, this is a guy kind of thing. And anyway, and I have the Ondulite. It's sort of hard, heavy-duty fiberglass. It's not a real. It's sort of soft, pliable, but it's very sturdy. It's been very good. Well, folks, this is where the hail, all these holes, this is where the hail came through, and you see my kayaks underneath it. All those holes are where the hail came through. And at first I couldn't figure out what, it was leaking all over. I'm looking around, I didn't realize, at that time I didn't know it was a hailstorm because we got there afterwards, and all of a sudden I said, look at this, and it poured in my workroom. I had some plywood in there, but a lot of my work tools got wet and all, but I just wanted to show you these different holes. And it came in at an angle. It came in at an angle. Ironically, I just sort of repaired it from the American Michael and got everything set up, fixed back and all. But nature can, is something else. I want to share that with you. And then let's see, I have just some pictures. Y'all all had this. I mean, just boom, boom, boom. Let's see, boom, boom, boom. Let's see, I was stupid enough to get outside that when a downburst came and blew, you saw, y'all all had this, but it was just the wave. It would come at different levels. And that chair, rolled down chair with holes in it, blew over. And so let's see. Anyway, that's all the damage and all that was done. Oh, y'all had the same thing too. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. And don't forget, their big sale is coming up next week, May 10th, and I'll get more information on it. It's not going to be a tent sale. They used to have some tent sales. It was amazing at the tent sales they had. They had to sort of get away from it for two reasons. One thing is a lot of manpower to get the tent set up and get all that stuff out there, and then it's sort of weather you got to put up with. But also, it takes away a lot of their parking. And as you know, anywhere in the Panhandle now, parking is at premium everywhere. So it's going to be inside, but they're getting it all set up, and we'll talk more about that later. Talking about let's do the times right now: 10:06 to 12:06 at noontime, and tonight 10:28 to 12:28. And speaking of nature and the hail, Jeff and I were talking about it, and it was interesting how it all came in one direction. You could see what angle it came, and if I got hit smack on with that hail, that's what happened, the holes and all. But if you got an angle, and I have one of my buildings, 2 or 3 places I saw, it was sort of bounce off at that. So that was just interesting and all. Also, speaking of nature, if you saw the news last week, lightning struck one of the fishermen on the pier. Now I'm thankful he was in serious condition last I heard. But I read an eyewitness report, and guys, they were all getting off the pier. But like we say, sometimes that lightning travels and comes down. And from what the eyewitness said, that lightning bolt came out and forked out, and one of the forks is what hit him. And it's a tragedy, but hopefully he's going to be okay. But I just want to again remind you, every year we're talking about lightning, and we're talking about all kinds of accidents that happen. So if you're out there, outdoorsmen a lot of times are victims of lightning strikes, so just be aware, be careful, and just use these 2 words: get out, get away from there, get that boat on the land real quick. Speaking of boats, we know all the heavy wind we've had. This is the other afternoon. I was watching, if I can get this up here. When it had winds were blowing about 20 to 25. Okay, I'm looking out my window, and it's crazy. This is a small boat in that heavy wind. I mean, okay, this is North Bay. He's headed into it. You can tell this is a young kid. He don't have a life jacket on. It's not a real smart thing to do. And it's rougher than it looks. Oh, but that hit him, so he slowed down. Uh-oh. So he said, wait a minute, it's rougher than I think. It starts turning sideways. Now he's getting into it. And this is when it becomes dangerous, okay? And then, let me see. You can see, okay, now you see how rough it is out there? No way you should be out in North Bay in a situation like that because of the waves coming out of the south and at the north end of the bay. The waves are really, I see it all the time, the direction of the wind. And I'm sure that kid put it up there by the Deer Point Dam and thought he could get across there. But a lot of times like that, you learn by experience, but you don't need to learn by stupid experience, and that was just not a good situation there. I don't know who the kid was, and I'm not calling him stupid. I just say the idea of going out in that kind of weather is a stupid idea, okay? So talk to young people about getting out in that kind of weather. Also, speaking of boats, I know you saw last week where there's a boating accident right there where Scipio Creek goes into the Apalachicola River. From what I could gather, I haven't read the details of the report, 2 boats speeding hit head on, and there were some injuries. I don't know if anyone was hurt bad and all, but we've talked about this before. The speed on boats, especially with the multiple motors now. Everybody's putting the hammer down. I can understand, getting out in the Gulf, putting the hammer down. We do, I've been on boats do that on a nice day, and you want to get on out there. But man, when you're in a bay system and people are around and you're going full speed, That ain't smart, folks. And up in the river, I get on to my bass fishing friends all the time. Some of them slow down and all, but the speed is not good. Speaking of going out in the Gulf, people keep asking about snapper season. I don't know if they've officially set snapper season. Usually at the last minute they'll set it, but everybody sort of has an understanding, even though it's not official, snapper season is going to open June 1. I know the charter boat captains have had to go ahead and book their clientele. We're booked for that first Saturday of June. We always go on that first Saturday of June with Billy Archer on the Seminole Wind, so he's already booked up. We hope it's open before we get down there and get on the boat and all, so be aware of that. The snapper assessment so far, the information I've looked at, the snapper assessment has been good. The snapper itself is just that fish can just stay, keep the population up there. I know they get hit hard and all, but the limits of catching the big ones and all, letting those real big ones go back, and then there's a certain size limit on them, that's helped a lot. On the other hand, grouper just on the other side of the spectrum as far as being population-wise being up there, because the grouper population really gone down. I can see what they're coming up with. We're really not going to have grouper season until the fall. So this summer, normally we'd like to go catch snapper and grouper, but we're not going to be able to do that in June when we go on our trip, or when they all go this summer, because of the decrease in the grouper population. So, we've got to take care of our environment. We've got to take care of our resources, and that's why we have limits. We saw the cobia situation we talked about on the show Monday, and that's the situation that we're in dire need of that. So just be aware of that, and just do the best you can. Everybody do their little bit, little share. That will help out. Got to wrap it up for today. Now we've got some special guests coming in tomorrow, a couple of ladies who are outdoor ladies, and they're going to share some things with us. Okay? Wrap it up for today. Thank you all so much for watching our show. We always appreciate your viewership. Stay in contact. Do something good for someone else today. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.